Hey, good morning. This is going to be a video covering the skill of synthesis. Synthesis is the skill of combining or connecting multiple ideas into one strong argument. This video and the chart on your handout will help explain 4 words you can use to synthesize or combine 2 ideas into an argument. These words are expand, confirm, complicate, and contradict. So really important to go over these words and to understand what each one means. So we'll go one at a time. The first word is expand. Altogether, expand. And that is when one idea builds on another idea. The 2 ideas expand each other. If you think of building blocks, like Legos or, I think blocks you might have played with when you're younger, blocks can build on each other. They can build bigger things in the same way that 2 ideas can build on each other. You might say idea B expands on idea A by, you might also say idea A shows that blank, adding on or furthermore, idea B shows that blank. Here's an example you could see. It says we should extend lunch for high school students because it improves student mental health. Adding on, extended lunch gives students freedom to pursue interests and activities outside of school. So there are 2 ideas that build on each other. They help build the same point, and therefore they add on or expand each other. The next word is confirm. Altogether, confirm. And that is when 2 ideas make a similar point. Those 2 ideas confirm each other. Think of kind of a check mark. You're checking things off. One idea can kind of check off the other idea. And that is when 2 ideas confirm. You might say idea B confirms idea A because. You might also say idea A shows that blank. Similarly, or indeed, idea B shows. So let's see, I think, one more example over here. It says we should extend lunch for high school students because it improves student mental health. Indeed, research shows that schools with longer lunches show improved student happiness compared to schools with shorter lunches. I want to pause here and go over one common misconception. So confirm and expand are really close, but they're also kind of different. So I want you to, I think, just pause and compare these 2 examples and think about what the difference is. How are 2 ideas expanding different from 2 ideas confirming each other? Go ahead, take a minute. Okay, let's jump back in. So the big difference between expanding and confirming is really about whether those 2 ideas are different, but they build on each other, or they are actually the same idea, and one idea helps prove the other. In this case, you have 2 ideas. Having longer lunch can improve mental health, and it can give students more freedom to pursue interests and activities outside of school. Those are 2 different ideas that build on each other. In this case, you have one idea, which is that longer lunch improves student mental health. However, the other idea, which is, I think, research showing that schools with longer lunches show improved student happiness, that idea actually helps confirm the first idea. That idea, in a way, is almost evidence for the first idea. And that is, I think, that is more an example of 2 ideas that make a similar point and therefore confirm each other. So we're going to move on to the next word, which is complicate. Altogether, complicate. So you might have heard the song Complicated by Avril Lavigne. And you know that when things are complicated, they're difficult. So when 2 ideas make each other more difficult, they complicate each other. Think of headphones that have been tangled, right? I think 2 ideas getting tangled into each other, making each other, I think, more difficult, more challenging. That is when they complicate each other. You might say idea B complicates idea A because. You might also say, although it's true that blank, it is not so simple because blank. Good thing to use when you have 2 things that really make each other not simple at all. Here's an example. Although it's true that extending lunch for high school students can improve student mental health, it is not so simple because teen mental health is not just about lunch. There you have it, I think, an example of two things that make each other more complicated. Finally, you have what is called contradict. And that is when you have two ideas that directly go against each other. Think of fist smashing or two arrows that are going against each other in the same way that two ideas can contradict each other. You might say idea B contradicts idea A. You might also say on one hand, blank, and then say however, or on the other hand, blank. Here's an example. You might say on one hand, extending lunch for high school students can improve student mental health. And on the other hand, teenagers need to adapt to an adult workload and schedule. So two ideas. One of them is in support of having longer lunch, and the other one is against it because teens need to adapt to a more adult schedule, a more adult workload. Those two ideas go against each other, and therefore they contradict. All right, folks. So that was some review. I hope that this is a helpful video, and know that we will be practicing these words throughout the units. So if you don't get them the first time, it's totally okay. Right now, we're going to move on to part 2 and part 3. You're going to read the scenario about two high school students who might be breaking up, and you will help them make a choice by looking at the evidence and practicing the skill of synthesis. So let's go ahead, jump back in. Thank you all for watching.